Alright guys, welcome to a new video on the channel, and as you can see here we have a lot of pricing as well as the either barrel mat and the deck that got me there, which is Ext Ryzeal. I want to give this deck a last homage because after next format, after Blades and Dominion, when KO Tune releases, the deck will be in extremely bad state, as well as when Elf Node releases, because Astraltopia modulates the levels, as well as KO Tune modulating the levels too. And before we hop into the deck profile and then the combos afterwards, I want to shout out my sponsor Cards really quick. You can get some crazy OCG sleeves here. You have the Lacrima OCG sleeve, and you can also get crazy mats like this Rukalos mat here. And way more other mats and other sleeves, as well as entire other products like clothes mats, etc. from him. And even if you don't find something on his website, you can contact him directly, and he can also get you stuff that is not available anywhere else. You can use the code Xenoy for 10% off. And with that out of the way, let's head into the video. Let's hop into the deck profile. So I'm gonna talk about the main deck first, then the extra deck, and then the side deck. So we put this to the side, and this to the side, then we start talking about the main deck. So for the Ryzeal card, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. We play the 1 Ext Ryzeal, 2 Ice Ryzeal, 2 Sport Ryzeal, 1 Star Ryzeal, 1 Node Ryzeal, and the Ryzeal Cross. I think all of that is pretty self-explanatory. There are arguments to cut Star Ryzeal, but it's way too important in a lot of combos. And I'm going to also show some of these combos later, so stay tuned for that. And obviously Ext Ryzeal at 1 sucks, but this card just feels crazy. Like honestly, this card being legal is crazy. Like now that you think about it, whenever you resolve Ext, it just feels crazy. And Cross having one of the nastiest negations possible, which is on resolution, just makes it so strong. So yeah, huge fan of the Ryzeal cards. And obviously we started with the 1 Bonbon and then the 3 7 Tachyon. Amazing cards, and 7 Tachyon also turns you into the Onomat engine, which is really nice too. And Bonbon always being such a pressure card because it starts Ext Ryzeal, and Ext Ryzeal is just insane. Then I run a very small Onomat package. Actually, it's not even any big or something. We run 3 Dodododo Warrior, 1 Gogogo Goblindbergh, 1 Gogogo Goblindbergh, and I run 2 Onomatokage, together with the 3 Onomatopia. The reason why I run such a small package is because I'm not doing any like FTK shenanigans, and in testing I just found out that in the decks that you play against currently, like Malice is still around, Branded is really strong right now, and Sky Striker is also really strong. I just wanted cards for these kind of decks that are live at all times, so I just cut down on the Onomat engine a lot. Prophecy was played with only 1 Onomatokage. I can get behind why, but in play pattern, in testing, I found out that 2 is just always a nice number for me. And also, you just utilize the Gambara Knight then, which is really good going second. So yeah, a really like small ornament package, but it was really potent, which is what I really liked here. And the rest of the deck is non-engine. I again shout out to Prophecy Wisp for just inspiring me to try this out. Because usually I went with more engine heavy approach or more breaker approach with like droplet and whatnot. But in this time around, I did not do that. We play the 1 Call by the Grave, and the rest is literally just hand traps, right? So because Ryzeal is a deck that can utilize rank 4, level 4 is really good. I decided to play 3 Molshami Fuvalot and 3 Molshami Purulia, and it's really awesome what these cards offer going second. But also going first, you just have a lot of pitches. You shuffle back with the 7 Tachyon, and again you send with Ice, you send with Node, and with Onomatopia. You have a lot of these things, and sometimes you just have a Gambara Knight plus Purulia and rest non-engine. I had this 1 game, and then we have 3 Ash, we have 3 Bell, we have 3 Veiler, and 3 Imperm. So this is the hand trap lineup, 18 hand trap plus a call by, so 19 non-engine. And stay tuned for the side deck, because the side patterns are crazy. I'm also going to show you the side patterns here that I did in this specific deck. But yeah, like everything felt amazing. The only thing that kind of sucks here is Veiler, because if you draw Veiler for turn, it feels just so terrible. But yeah, I wouldn't really change a lot about this. Maybe you can change Veiler in the next format for something, but I really valued the ability to use the Imperm first, and then if they have something for the Imperm, then use a Veiler. So that was really nice. Wouldn't really change something here. Coming to the extra deck, so yeah, I used the detonator here. You only have one, but most surprisingly, I also only have one do drive. Honestly, I wouldn't even need more than one detonator. One is totally fine. You wouldn't play more. And so the do drive is something you usually play more of. But I do have a way to recycle it with the two onomatokaga, so I can just recycle one in case it doesn't resolve and I need to get rid of it or like have a new one. So in order to have that, I have one more slot in the extra deck, which really comes in very handy. But I've never missed my second do drive. In a lot of combos, I'm sending the detonator first and then setting up Crot if I know that I can set Crot easily. And so yeah, that's really fine. Then the one Eclipse Twins. And so this is like the 3 package, I would say, that you should always play, and always is very necessary to play this. Eclipse Twin is a crazy card in the deck, obviously. Just looping Detonator the whole time. Like, I played against this one Melis guy, and I literally looped Detonator, like, I think 5 times in a row. And then for some more board breaker cards, we have the Primasmic Laplacian, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, and the Tornado Dragon. Those are like our kind of board breaky cards. I currently play the Tornado Dragon because there's a lot of Sky Striker going around, and it just hit some decks surprisingly well. Keep in mind that the Tornado Dragon is once per turn, which means you can loop it with Emerald. We have the Wambaguska together with the one Starleash Photon Blast Dragon. It is one of the main setup that you do if you only start Ryzeal cards. I'm going to show you the setup later in the combo part. Then I do have my beloved friend Goes to Emerald, and it's so crazy that I got my very first regional top, where I got 3rd place in the regional. I got it because of a combo that I found out when I played Fiendmas Ryzeal together with Goes to Emerald, where I drew 4 cards every turn, and everyone found it very hilarious in the regional because no one thought of that. And then yeah, I just like got 3rd place at the regional because of that. And this guy saved me twice. In like the local one and then in the release event as well. This guy is crazy. Just play the guy Goes to Emerald. It's loopable with Twin. It shuffles back your Onomat engine. You just have infinite cards. Crazy. Dogaris is another tech option that I really, really like to have because of all the different effects. You use the revive effect not as much, but the attack double effect comes up really often, as well as the draw effect, obviously, if you want to deep draw into your deck, because you at some point you have gone through all your engine, and then the rest is non-engine, and then you just draw. It's really nice. For our main searches, we have the Flame Banshee as well as the Gogogo Girl. The Flame Banshee gets into the Ryzeal engine without using the dual drive, which comes in very clutch sometimes. And the Gogogo Girl searches you the Counter Trap, which is in the side deck, but most importantly, it gets you the Onomato Pyra, which then just create the whole bunch of bodies, which is really nice. And then for the sense that we have with Ext Ryzeal, we have 1 the Valon and 2 the Mirologic Aggregator, and then we have the number 104 Masquerade, which is being used for the 7 Tachyon. So that's the extra deck. I'm extremely happy with the extra deck, and I wouldn't really change anything here. Like in the current format, you could maybe swap the Tornado Dragon for something, but it came up today like 2 times, I think. So yeah, it's totally fine. And coming to the side deck, this is probably the most intriguing thing that people had about my deck, because they were like, oh well, you have like 18 hand traps and you're not hand trapping me once. What the fuck are you doing? Well, we're running 2 Drone Lockbird in the side. And this is our only hand trap that we run in the side deck. No more hand trap because we already have a lot. I do play the Crowd-Out Designator. I play the Crowd-Out for 2 reasons. I also explained that thoroughly in my video about the 300 White Seers in Dortmund. Why I play Crowd-Out in this deck is essentially just to cut down on the going first card in the side deck. So this deck is already very, very well positioned going first. This deck just struggles going second into some matchups, into some boards. So, of course, you have stuff like Exciton Knight and the Laplacian and the Tornado Dragon to kind of take care of that, and also sometimes the Detonator as a board breaker. But it's just not enough. And in order to have more board breakers in my side deck, I decided to play Cross Out, which now sounds weird at first, but if you side Cross Out, you have to keep 1 Fuva and 1 Perulia in your main deck, as well as 1 of each hand trap. Because your siding pattern with Cross Out you side out 2 Perulia, 2 Fuva, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the side deck, because it will make sense in a second when I show the rest of the side deck. But for board breakers, 1 Feather Duster, and now 3 Illusion Gate, as well with 3 evenly matched. That was my board breaker lineup for the side deck, and I paired these cards with Pot of Prosperity to find these cards, and then Triple Tactic Talents going second. So I sided 9 cards in going second, sometimes even 11 because of Drone Lockbird. And what I did is I literally sided out all monster hand traps, like Veiler, Bell, and sometimes even Ash, or Imperm, like either Ash or Imperm. Like for example, again, Branded, I obviously keep Ash in. But again, Sky Striker, I also keep Ash in, I guess, yeah. I played again Malice, where I kept Imperm for the allied code at Ignister. So yeah, that was really nice, and all of these cards performed really well. I drew Harpy's Feather Duster once, Evenly was really good against Sky Striker once. Illusion Gate is so funny, like this card is crazy. Someone negated my Illusion Gate, I had another one. This card says apply effect once per duel, but you did not apply it yet, so you can just activate it again. Crazy card. And the other cards are going first card, so we have the 1 searchable, unbreakable XYZ barrier, which is searchable by the Gogogo girl. Then we have the Solemn Strike. The only reason why I ran this Solemn Strike is because I just didn't know what else to run. I wanted to have another Solemn, so there's a Solemn Judgment, but I wanted to have another Solemn or Solemn-esque card. And I know that Dragon Mind is really interesting because it takes original attack, so you can use it with dual drive and whatnot. But I didn't really like that approach that much because I wasn't really familiar with it. So I just stick to what I know was good. So I just played the 1 Solemn Strike and then the 1 Solemn Judgment, and both came in really handy. And yeah, this is my side deck. And now you may ask about side deck patterns. Well, going first, you obviously side in these 6 together with a draw. So you side in 7 cards. And a lot of times you side a second draw because draw is just that good. But siding out, it's really funny. Because you have these cards that you side out. And usually I side in one more draw. So it's like this. And then I side out 2 of this, or 2 of this, or 2 of this. So it really depends on which card I don't need most in this matchup, essentially. So against Sky Striker, like Veiler, is not really that good. You just want to have Bell for the 0. And Imperm is really good against Malice. So I just kept Imperm from Malice. And so yeah, stuff like that. It's just trying to be logical, but you side these out, obviously, because you need to keep 1 each in. And yeah, and while going second was really funny, because going second, I side in the Talent, the Prosperity, and then I side out Vader, Bell, and the Ash. Because Ash going second right now is okay if you paired with other hand traps, but this deck just struck. Like, a lot of deck can push through Ash plus like another hand trap most of the time. So yeah, I just sided these in, and it was so awesome because my whole rest of the deck is just Charmy plus Imperm. And I never really Impermed in their turn, I just kept the Imperm from my turn. Voila. Was really, really good. I really liked the side deck and the approach that I took here with the Illusion Gate and the evenly matched. Illusion Gate is so underrated. Like, what the fuck, man? This card's so underrated. Please play Illusion Gate. This card's so underrated. It's crazy. But yeah, this is the side deck. So if you have any questions, if you have any thought, then let me know. But I thought my part about the side deck. I always like to have a good side deck in terms of siding patterns and whatnot, and they really are to my liking in this deck. And yeah, if you have any questions about the deck, then leave a comment down below. I'm gonna try to answer every comment. And well, let's get into some combos, because this is not the FDK variant, but a lot of people have still asked me about the FDK combo. So I'm going to show you like 3 combos that go into the FDK with 3 different starting lines. And I will also show you the combos if you only have Ryzeal cards. So We will do one combo with Sword Ryzeal only, one combo with Ice Ryzeal only, and then the other combo with the Ext Ryzeal only. So if you want to see that, then stay tuned. So the first FTK combo starts with Dodododo Warrior. The second FTK combo starts with Gogogo Goblindbergh, and the third FTK combo starts with a card that I'm very fond of since the 300 YCS, which is Astraltopia, which is also searchable by 7 Tachyon. So stay tuned for all 3 combos, and we will start with the Dodododo Warrior combo. Before we go into the combo, I want to say that for this combo you need a specific extra deck. So let me show you which cards are absolutely necessary for the combo in order to do it the most efficient way possible, not only in this combo showcase but also in real games. We need Infernal Flame Banshee, this is very important. We need Daidaratan the Ooze Giant, and most importantly, we need Talanite Ptolemaios. And other cards we need are Gogogo Girl, which you obviously always play in Onomat Ryzeal, and the Doodrive. And another card that is extremely important in this build is the Eclipse Twin. So these are the extra deck cards that you are going to need for the turn skip. So without further ado, make sure that you have these cards in your extra deck if you want to play this. Alright guys, so now with the FTK combo, we have one random card that is a discard, and then the Dodododo Warrior. We start with Dodododo Warrior, sending the Dododo Gogogo Glove for cost to the graveyard. Now he's level 4, and then we can activate the Dododo Gogogo Glove to special summon him because we control a Dododo or Gogogo monster. Now we use these two to perform an Exceed summon into the Gogogo. Then we use the effect of Gogogo detaching specifically the Dodododo Warrior to search the Onomatopoeia. Now you use the effect of the Dodododo Warrior to search Subaba Bancho Gogogo code. Now you use the effect of Onomatopoeia, pitching the random card that we have in hand to search Gogogo Goblindbergh and Gogogo Gambara Knight. Now we normal summon the Gogogo Goblindbergh, and we use its effect to special summon from the deck the Onomatokage, then put itself to defense position. Now we use these two to go into Infernal Flame Banshee. Now we use the effect of Flame Banshee, detaching specifically the Gogogo Goblindbergh to search Ext Ryzeal. Now we use the effect of Gogogo Goblindbergh to search the second Onomatokage. Then we use the effect of Ext Ryzeal, sending the Meteorologic Aggregator, and then we go chaining 1 Ext Ryzeal and chaining 2 Meteorologic Aggregator, targeting Flame Banshee or Gogogo to chain block the Ext Ryzeal. The Ext Ryzeal will then search the Sword Ryzeal, so we special summon the Sword Ryzeal, which will then search as the Star Ryzeal. We special summon Star Ryzeal by detaching specifically the Onomatokage from the Flame Banshee to use its effect to place the Ryzeal Cross face down to the field spot zone. Now we activate the Ryzeal Cross, and now it's the last time that the enemy can use Nibiru here, which also wouldn't matter. If you want to see line through Nibiru with this deck, let me know in the comment down below. I can make an additional video just on Nib lines alone. But let's continue with the FTK. Now we use Star and Sword specifically to make the Ryzeal Doodrive. Then we use the effect of Doodrive, detaching specifically Sword Ryzeal and the Dododo Dwarf Gogogo Glove to search ourselves the Node Ryzeal and the Ryzeal plugin. Now you use the effect of Subaba Bancho Gogogo code, special summon itself because we control Gogogo monster, and then we use its effect to special summon the Dododo Dwarf Gogogo Glove from the graveyard. Now we use this guy and Ext Ryzeal to make Daidaratan the Ooze Giant. We use the effect of the Ooze Giant detaching any card to put himself into the Pendulum Zone. Now we overlay these two for Eclipse Twins. Then we special summon Node Ryzeal from our hand because we control an Exceed monster, and we use the effect of Node Ryzeal, sending the Eclipse Twins to special summon Sword Ryzeal. The reason why we do Sword Ryzeal here is because it's a fire, so we cannot get Bestial here. Now we use the effect of the glove to special summon the Onomatokage from our hand. Then we use the effect of Onomatokage in the graveyard to special summon itself because we control any of the Dododo whatever monsters. And now with 5 monsters on the field, we are performing an Ext summon with all 5 materials into Telanite Totemaios. Totemaios, if it has 7 materials, can detach all of them to turn skip the opponent. Now we use the effect of Daitaratan the Ooze Giant to put himself under the Totemaios, and at last we use Ryzeal plugin targeting the Ext Ryzeal to special summon, and then because of Ryzeal plugin has a second effect, we can attach a Ryzeal card to an Ext monster we control. So we attach an Ice Ryzeal to Telanite Totemaios. And now you only have the Gogogo Goblindbergh in hand, but keep in mind this was a 1-card combo. So now we use the effect of Telanite Totemaios detaching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 materials from itself to turn skip the opponent. So for our next combo we start with the Gogogo Goblindbergh, and you will see that this combo is arguably a little bit stronger than the Dodododo Warrior. However, it uses your normal summon at the start, so it's kinda convoluted sometimes against boards or against certain hand traps like Infinite Permanence. Without further ado, we normal summon the Gogogo Goblindbergh to special summon the Onomato Kage from our deck. Then he gets put into defense position. We overlay these two for the Gogogo Girl, which we then activate the effect, detaching specifically the Goblindbergh. Then we search ourselves the Onomatopia, and then we use the effect of the Goblindbergh to search the Dodododo Warrior. We use the Dodododo Warrior special sending the glove. We use the glove effect to special summon, and then we overlay these two for Infernal Flame Banshee. Now we use the effect of Banshee, detaching specifically the Dodododo Warrior to search the Ext Ryzeal. Now we trigger the Dodododo Warrior to search the Tsubaba Bancho Gogogo code. Now we use the effect of, we use Ext Ryzeal special summon itself, and use the effect to grab the Sword Ryzeal. Then we chain with the aggregator, of course, and then we go Sword Ryzeal for Star, detaching the glove, use the effect of Star, placing the cross, and then activating the cross. And from here you see that the combo is a little bit similar. However, we still have the Onomatopia in hand, meaning if we get interrupted somewhere here, we still have the push from the Pyra. We use the effect of Dual Drive, detaching the Sword Ryzeal as well as the Onomato Kage to grab ourselves, Node Ryzeal and the Ryzeal plugin. And then we use the Tsubaba Bancho Gogogo code, special summoning the glove. We use these two to make Daitaratan the Ooze Giant. We use the effect of Ooze Giant, and then we use these two to make the Eclipse Twins. Node Ryzeal sending the Eclipse Twins, special summoning the Sword Ryzeal. And now we are missing the body that we need in order to do the FTK. So now we are using the Onomatopia, pitching the random card to grab ourselves the Gogogo Goblindbergh as well as the other Onomato Kage. And now we can use the effect of the glove, special summon the Onomato Kage. We can use the effect of Onomato Kage in the graveyard, special summon itself. And now again we have 5 materials. So we use these 5 materials to go into Telanite Totemaios. We use the effect of Daitaratan the Ooze Giant to equip itself, or to attach itself to the Totemaios. And we use plug-in special summoning the Ext Ryzeal, and then also attaching another Ryzeal card to the Totemaios. And now we use the effect of Totemaios, detaching the 7 materials. And now we skip the turn again. Alright guys, the next FTK combo is about Astraltopia. It's our third and last 1-card FTK combo. Astraltopia is a card that's a light level 4, which means you can search it with 7 Tachyon via 104 Masquerade. So keep that in mind if you want to play this FTK. You can also do the FTK with 7 Ascension, 7 Tachyon, every card that searches Astraltopia. So for example, you can also start with a Ryzeal card, go into a 4 material Alimbersion, and then search Astraltopia to FTK. But that is not safe with Ryzeal Cross or whatever, so I'm not going to showcase that combo because it's a very convoluted combo. Obviously, it will not come up in real games. But Astraltopia is a card that very much comes up in real games, especially going second. So without further ado, let me show you the combo with the 1 Astraltopia. It's a quite cost-intensive card, which means you decided out going second because it takes a couple of discards, or pitches rather. But yeah, you normal summon the Astraltopia. Use the effect of Astraltopia, pitch a random card, grab yourself the Onomatopia. Then you activate the Onomatopia, pitch the other card to search yourself the Dodododo Warrior and the Gogogo Goblindbergh. Now you activate the effect of Gogogo Goblindbergh, showing the Gogogo girl to special summon itself. And now you overlay these two for the Gogogo girl that you just revealed. Then you use the effect of Gogogo girl, detaching specifically the Goblindbergh to search yourself the Onomatopia, and then the Goblindbergh searches you a second Onomatopia. Now you use the effect of Dodododo Warrior, or you special summon him by sending the glove, then you special summon the glove, and from here on the combo should look exactly like you saw it before, except with some minor changes. We go into Flame Banshee, we use the Dodododo Warrior to search the Ext Ryzeal. Now we use the Warrior's effect to search the Tsubaba Bansho Gogogo code. We special summon Ext Ryzeal, sending the Mirror Logic Aggregator, chaining 1, chaining 2, targets the Flame Banshee, search Sword Ryzeal. We special summon Sword Ryzeal for Star Ryzeal. Then we special summon Star Ryzeal, detaching specifically the glove to place the Ryzeal cross. Now we use Star and Sword to make the Ryzeal Dewdrive. We use Dewdrive using Sword Ryzeal as well as the Astraltopia under the Gogogo girl to grab the Node Ryzeal as well as the Ryzeal plugin. Now you use the Tsubaba Bansho Gogogo code, special summon the glove from the graveyard, and use these two to go into Daidaratan the Ooze Giant, and use the effect of Ooze Giant, putting him into the Pendulum Zone. And now you are using these two to go into the Eclipse Twins, and special summon Node Ryzeal from hand, sending the Eclipse Twin to special summon the Sword Ryzeal. And from here on, you do exactly like you do in the other combo, except that you special summon the Onomatopia from hand. So you use the effect of Glove, special summon the Kage, and then use Kage's own effect to special summon itself. And from here on, you see the 5 bodies already. We go into Telanai Ptolemaios, we use the effect of Ooze Giant, and then use the effect of Plug-in, reviving the Ext Ryzeal and attaching another Ryzeal card to the Telanai Ptolemaios. And then we use the effect of Ptolemaios, detaching 7 materials, and here we skipped the turn of the opponent. So without these FTK combos, this deck can still do a lot of things, so don't view this as FTK Turbo. This is not what it is. You don't FTK that much with the deck actually, like in real games, because as you can see, we don't really have like a lot more effects to do more summons. So the moment you get stopped in your tracks, that's usually means that you have to call off the FTK. So without further ado, what do we do if we start with only Ryzeal cards? And with that, let's go into the second section of the video. Alright guys, so the next question that we ask ourselves is, what do we do if we only start with Ryzeal cards? And I have the perfect solution for you, because, well, so if you draw Ext, Ice, Sword, Bonfire, or 7 Tachyon, or 7 Ascension I guess, then you have to think about what board you make with these cards, and you have multiple options. Obviously the rank 4 toolbox is extremely big, but let me give you a tip. We are doing the, what I call it, the Bagooska Starleech board. So how this works and how we get to this was all 3 starters. I'll show you one of these combos, or like a couple of these combos are convoluted, but it's fine. The Starleech Bagooska board, why is it so strong? Well, you end on Bagooska, Starleech, and the Dewdrive most of the time. So what happens is that you have an Earth, Fire, and Light board, which cannot be super polyed. It's also protected by Ryzeal Cross, because we still have material under the Dewdrive, so we can negate any monster effect that tries to out this board. Then the Bagooska puts everything into defense position and negates activate the effect of monsters. And last but not least, the Starleech has always 2000 or more attack, except when we start with the Sword Ryzeal, which essentially means that none of these monsters can be targeted or destroyed, which is really, really strong. If you think about what card can out this, then you are not really left with a lot of choice. You can say, well, Dark Ruler, maybe Droplet, but that's about it. There's not a lot of cards that can out this. Ultimate Slayer doesn't out it because of target. Imperm doesn't out it because of target. And so on and so forth. So you have to have very specific card to out this board. So without further ado, let me show you how to get to these specific boards all the time and what we can also do when we start with Sword Ryzeal. Keep in mind that when we start with Ext Ryzeal, funnily enough, we need one discard. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first off we start with only Ext Ryzeal. This is a combo that I'll just show very fast because this combo is very easy and very straightforward. So we special summon Ext Ryzeal, sending the detonator. We use the effect of Ext Ryzeal, searching the Sword Ryzeal. We special summon Sword Ryzeal, searching the Ext Ryzeal. We normal summon Ext Ryzeal, use its effect to special summon the Star Ryzeal. Star Ryzeal will then set the Ryzeal Cross. We activate the Ryzeal Cross, and using specifically Star Ryzeal and Ext Ryzeal here to make the Do Drive. And then we will not use the effect of Do Drive, but this is the 5th summon, and now we're protected by Nibiru from the Ryzeal Cross. We then use the Sword Ryzeal as well as the Ext Ryzeal to make the Starleash Photon Blast Dragon, and now we use the effect of Do Drive because Do Drive can now also detach from this to search the Node Ryzeal as well as an Ext Ryzeal for follow-up. So what you do now is you use the Node Ryzeal, special summon itself, and now you use the effect of Ryzeal Cross, shuffling back the Ext Ryzeal as well as the Ryzeal Detonator to draw a random card. So let me just be this a random card. And now you use the effect of Node Ryzeal, sending exactly that random card, to special summon the Sword Ryzeal. And now you use these two to go into the Baguska. Why is this board so strong? I already mentioned it before, but essentially the Do Drive, because it has 2 materials, pushes the Starleash to 2000, meaning all of these monsters are not being able to be destroyed or targeted, which is really broken because it's really hard to out, because Cross negates any monster effect trying to out it, and Baguska negates also any monster effect on the field trying to out it. And spells and trap don't really work because they usually cannot target or destroy this. Even Super Poly doesn't work because it's light, fire, and earth. So this is really strong, and you also have an Ext Ryzeal for follow-up. Now, on to the next combo, starting with the Ext Ryzeal that we have here. Alright, so with the Ext Ryzeal, we need one discard. That's very important to know. So we normal summon the Ext Ryzeal, we special summon the Sword Ryzeal, we use the effect of Sword Ryzeal to grab ourselves the Ext Ryzeal. We then special summon Ext Ryzeal, sending the detonator, and we go Ext Ryzeal, search ourselves the Node Ryzeal. Now we use Ext and Sword here to go into the Do Drive, and here we use the Do Drive effect to attach this time. And then we are going to use the Do Drive, detaching specifically Sword and Ext to search ourselves the Ryzeal Cross as well as the Ryzeal plugin. And from here on, it's cake. It's the 4th summon, so we activate the Ryzeal Cross, and then we can go Node Ryzeal, sending the random card for the Sword Ryzeal, special summon, and then we can use Sword Ryzeal and Ext Ryzeal for the Starleash Photon Blast Dragon, and then we use Ryzeal Cross, special summoning the Ext Ryzeal and attaching a Ryzeal card like the Star Ryzeal, for example, to the Do Drive. And then we use these two to go into the Baguska. And now we have the same board. Alright guys, and for the last combo, starting with Sword Ryzeal, we don't need a discard here. So let's start here. We normal summon the Sword Ryzeal, we use the effect of Sword Ryzeal to grab the Ext Ryzeal. Then we special summon the Ext Ryzeal, sending the detonator. Now we use the effect of Ext Ryzeal to search the Node Ryzeal. We use these two to make the Do Drive. This is the 3rd summon. So we use the effect of Do Drive here to attach the detonator, and then we use Do Drive, detaching specifically Sword and Ext Ryzeal. We search ourselves Star Ryzeal as well as the Ryzeal plugin. Now we use the effect of, we use Star Ryzeal special summon, detaching the detonator, and then use the effect of Star Ryzeal to place and then activate the Ryzeal Cross. This is the 4th summon. So what you do here is you activate Ryzeal plugin, targeting the Ext Ryzeal, and special summon this Ext Ryzeal here, as well as attaching an Ext Ryzeal from the deck to the Do Drive. So even though this is your 5th summon and your enemy can technically nip here, because plugin had not resolved yet, you can already attach another material on the Do Drive. So on resolution now, they can nip, but you can negate it with Cross, which is very important. And then you can use these two to go into the Start Photon Blast Dragon, and then use Ryzeal Cross, shuffling back the Ryzeal plugin as well as the Ryzeal Detonator to draw a random card. And then you special summon the Node Ryzeal, sending the random card, special summon the Sport Ryzeal from the graveyard. And then you use these two to make either, you can make Bagooska here, which is obviously still the same board. However, with Sport Ryzeal there's a little difference. The Dual Drive only has one material, meaning the Start Photon Blast Dragon is targetable. Very important to note, because you might want to have a different board here, right? Because in order to special summon this or like in order to do this field, you need to go have the Bagooska and the Stardish here, because to make it most efficient. But what you can also do is special summon the Detonator, attaching the random card in your graveyard, if it's a monster. So that also works. However, I don't like it as much, because Detonator for me has the most value if you attach an Eclipse Twin under it. So here I would still go for the Bagooska, only because your Starleash is now targetable and destroyable. Does not mean that this board is weak in any way, shape, or form. You still have insane follow-up from the Dual Drive afterwards. The enemy still had to play through Cross plus Bagooska, which is so hard. And remember guys, this is from one card, so you still have 4 other cards in hand. So that was the combo, or like the combo part of this video. If you want to see more combos that for example are really good into Nibiru, how to play going second with that deck, because it seems like a really good going first deck, but don't let it worry. This deck is crazy going second because the rank 4 toolbox is crazy. So if you want to see more videos of Onomat Ryzeal, let me know in the comment down below what you want to see. And until then, see you until the next video. Goodbye.